Okay, this is the experimental setup to test an electrolyser's efficiency under various voltages, temperatures and plate configurations to evaluate if it's possible to electrolyse boiler condensate, which is a dilute nitric acid. The electrolyser is built from a series of stainless steel plates with holes top and bottom to allow dielectric and gas to flow freely through the cell. There's holes left and right which were incorporated to allow an external heat input, but won't be used for this experiment. The cell plates are configured in a bipolar or series connection and monopolar or parallel connections to allow voltage reductions which best match the power supply that we've got. The electrolyser has a complex capacitive and resistive element which is affected by pressure, but to a greater extent temperature. We're monitoring temperature using an infrared temperature thermometer. We poke it into the O-ring of the cell in a regular spot, and we can see there 27.2 degrees. Not particularly the most accurate temperature measuring, but nevertheless convenient for what we need. The capacitive element of the electrolyser can be seen when you switch the power supply on. So if we monitor the power supply and we look at the analog dials there and I switch it on from a discharge state, we can see that the current starts high, and as the unit charges the current drops, but then when it reaches its resistive element it starts to rise again as the unit polarizes. That current continues to rise as temperature rises. The temperature increases, which affects the dielectric permittivity. For greater accuracy on current, we've used a multimeter, which is reading there 1.72, 1.73, and it's rising 1.74. So that's the current going into the electrolyser. The gas output from the electrolyser is monitored using a sight glass. You can see there on the sight glass the level of the dielectric in the cell. It's in a 7mm diameter glass tube. If I blank off the gas outlet of the electrolyser at the back end, I can displace the dielectric into the glass tube. And that displacement gives me a volume of gas. If I time the displacement using a stopwatch, I can quantify how much gas the electrolyser has produced, and I can then work out what the basic efficiency of it is later using the calorific value of the gas output over the wattage of the input.